So today we're going to change the sprocket on a Tru-Turf RS48-11C. The part number you're going to need is R5136. So to get started, just remove the back cover and you've got two guide arms on the chain. So just lift up the right hand side one and that rests on the gas strut, and the left hand side, once you lift it up, just pop a screwdriver in there to keep it out of your way. Or failing that, you can remove the spring altogether at the top, but it's easier just to move them left and right out your side. So what you're going to do, grab a 10mm socket and on the front end of the sprocket remove the bolt and the washer. You don't get a new one with the new sprocket, so keep those handy because you're going to reuse those later. And then we've got two grub screws on the back end of the sprocket, so grab yourself a hex key and remove or loosen a pair of those. So next up, we're ready to remove the sprocket and the chain from the end of the shaft. So there's a couple of ways you can do that. You can use a couple of pry bars just to slowly try and maneuver it off of the shaft. It works quite well, or if you've got a little bearing puller, it does make life a little bit easier. Just put that on either side of the end of the sprocket, get the appropriate socket, little impact gun, and it should slide off quite easy for you. Sprocket's off now, the chain comes along with it. Just bear in mind, on the end of the shaft you've got a little woodruff key there. If yours is in good shape, you can reuse it, but a new one is supplied with the sprocket when you order it, so it's always best to use a new one unless your other one's in good shape. Right, so what we're going to do now, we're going to remove that chain and just turn the shaft until the slot for the woodruff key is facing upwards. Makes it a little bit easier so your woodruff key doesn't fall out as you're trying to align your socket back on later. If you are going to change your chain, now's the time to do it while the sprocket's off. We're going to keep ours on for now because it was only changed a couple of months ago and it's still nice and taut, hasn't got any slack in it, so we're just going to put that back ahead now. So now you've got your sprocket back on the end of the shaft in line with the woodruff key. What you need to do, just grab a little rubber mallet or a soft hammer and just gently tap that back over. I wouldn't use a metal one just in case you damage either the chain or the sprocket tooth. So just give it a few gentle little taps and it will align on there nicely, and then you'll be able to push that over. So nice and easy now on the home stretch. Just grab your hex key, do those two grub screws up, you've got two of them on there to do. And then grab your bolt and washer from earlier and grab your 10mm socket and then do them up nice and snug on the end of the shaft. So we're pretty much done now. So all we need to do is put a little bit of chain lubricant, give it a little spritz on that new sprocket so she's nice and lubed up before she goes out for her next run, and then get those guide arms back into position. So just flick the pad on the right hand side on the right hand guide arm and that will go back into position, and then remove the screwdriver on the left hand side so we can get some tension back onto that chain. And then we're going to refit the rear cover, turn the machine on while she's up on the stands, just make sure she's all good, and yeah, good to go.